Honk, honk, buzz, buzz. No, I'm not emulating the frantic intensity of the busy and gridlocked inner city. It's the Only Connect Birds and Bees special, and the bird I was doing was the Canada goose. The bee, I don't know, let's say bumble. If you think you already know about the birds and the bees, let me tell you, it's a lot more complicated than that. 2 returning teams are with me tonight to play this special, and they are, on my right, Chris Grandison, a hospital administrator and snooker enthusiast who can recall the birth dates and deaths of every US president. Kelly Richards, a safety advisor who was once mistaken for electronic musician Moby while standing next to Moby. And their captain, Lauren Hamer, a primary school teacher and musician who enjoys foraging and building her own hedgehog tunnels. United by a passion for pigeons, they are the Birdwatchers. Lauren, you were knocked out in our 300th episode in 2019. Have you continued quizzing together as a team since then?
So much quizzing. It's too much quizzing, I think, which is actually a thing. So we might all be quizzed out for today's episode. Who knows?
I look forward to finding that out. Very nice to see you all again. Welcome back. This time you are playing on my left. Ian Wallace, a keen apiarist who, while strolling the estate of one of his bee landlords, entered into a disagreement with the late Princess Margaret about the suitability of a tree. Josh Spiro, a journalist who enjoys giving homemade ice cream to friends using cartons decorated with pictures of popular drag queens. And their captain, Mark Wallace, who lived in a tent for 2 months with a Welsh archaeologist and has slept through an Albanian earthquake. United by their taste for honey, they are the Beekeepers. Mark, what question still haunts you from your visit here?
The question I don't think anybody is going to forget in a hurry related to apples and led Josh to say something unfortunate about Jonathan's.
It wasn't unfortunate. Josh was... I remember him saying he enjoyed the sweet taste of a Jonathan when apples were a category on the wall, and that could be relevant to the natural history that will be coming up tonight. It is lovely to see you again too. Lovely to welcome you all back for the Birds and Bees special. Beekeepers, you won the toss, but you've thrown the Birdwatchers in first. So, Lauren, please choose a hieroglyph.
Twisted flax, please.
The twisted flax. The music question right from the off. What do these musical clues have in common? Here's the first.
That's wings. Oh, wings.
Wings, yeah.
And on the run. Okay. So that's wings, birds, yeah. Okay. Next, please.
Finally found with the honeys.
So these are birds and bees, presumably.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, wings and honey are both things that bees have got.
That's true. Should we go for
Should we gamble on it?
Do you want to go for it? Yeah. Go on. Parts of bees. What else are going to be? Sting. Don't be sting.
Yeah, sting.
These are all songs that are to do with bees, or by artists that are whose names are linked to bees.
Yes, they are. Very well done after just 2 clues. But nobody is leaving the room until you can tell me what the other 2 clues would have been.
I imagine something by Sting.
Actually, no.
Oh, OK.
Voice of the Beehive. Beautiful.
Yeah, the B-52s.
Nope.
Wings, Sting, stripes, a white stripe. No, there's no white stripe.
Death metal band, Thorax.
Nope. What about over there?
Anything by the Hives?
Yes. Hate to say I told you so, by the Hives would have been there. And at clue 3, it would have been Nut Rocker.
Oh, Bee Bumble and the Stingers.
Bee Bumble and the Stingers, of course. Yes, all bee artists. Very well done for 3 points. Beekeepers, what would you like?
The Horned Viper, please.
OK. What connects these clues? Here's the first.
So that's
London Society of London.
0 or O. Oh, yes.
OK. Next.
Worldwide Fund for Nature and FN.
Is this about where...
Is it about pandas? Giant pandas?
Oh, but what would FN be?
No.
Is that a country or a... next.
So these are all organised, like environmental organisations.
Yeah. Next. So these are animal protection charities of various sorts.
Tell me something more.
Are the letters something to do with the animals that you see in their public image?
That's not it. And I think you know the answer, but haven't found it. You're going to be kicking yourselves. Birdwatchers, do you know?
Well, is it to do with, like, World Wildlife Fund is for nature, so FM.
For the
ornithologists. And so that would be for the ornithologists and people who like animals beginning with T.
No, that's not it. You see, you know what they are. They are the initialisms of animal charities, but we have put in brackets the initials of the words that aren't included. So, Zoological Society of London, if you did all of it, would be ZSOL. The Worldwide Fund for Nature, it doesn't have the FN. So, Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, it's missing the F for 4, T for the, O for of, and RSPCA, Royal Society, F for 4, T for the, Prevention, O for of, Cruelty, T for 2, Animals. And if I carry on explaining, there'll be no time for any other questions. Birdwatchers, what would you like next?
2 reeds, please.
2 reeds. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
OK, this is a...
Okay.
This might be missing letters or
Could
something.
be Gaia.
Yeah. OK, next, please. Is this snake...
Something goes before it, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh! No.
No. OK, we'll go next, please. Bartez, Banks, Bayer.
Ket's Bayer and Bayer.
Banks, these
The
are
goalkeepers.
Goalkeepers.
Missing
Missing a B.
So,
Missing a B. There's a
so
goal.
just-
Goalkeepers missing a B because
Yeah, okay.
if I be Bates, go to Bates.
these are all goalkeepers with the B, initial B removed.
Please express that in a more thematic way.
The bees have buzzed
Bees
off.
have... Yeah.
That's it.
No bees.
They are beekeepers without the bees.
Beekeepers.
Exactly so. Who are those keepers? And let's bring up all 4 clues.
Fabien Barthez is French goalkeeper, I believe. Banks is...
Gordon Banks.
Gordon Banks.
Gordon
the
Banks
English
from the
hockey-
66 World Cup.
English footballer. I do not know the others, but my footballing... Buffon.
Gianluigi Buffon.
That's right,
Yeah.
great Italian goalkeeper.
And
Bayer,
Bayer, I don't-
Spanish.
I don't know
Portuguese
Portuguese,
goalkeeper
okay.
Vitor Bayer. So they are keepers without bees.
Oh,
Very clever.
I wonder if anyone's still watching after that. Beekeepers, what would you like?
Lion, please.
Lion. These are going to be picture clues. What do they have in common? Here's the first.
So there's a peacock. Next. So it's a fairy or a... next, please. Chin strap.
Purple Emperor.
Next.
2 seconds.
Fairy.
Shell strap. There's some kind of liquid brands of some sort, aren't they?
That's not what it is. Birdwatchers, another bonus chance.
I think these are types of penguins.
Penguins.
Got the
What are we looking at?
Macaroni penguin in the 4th picture. You've got tin strap penguin in the 3rd, fairy penguin, and the emperor butterfly, I believe. So emperor penguin.
Exactly so. All penguin types. Very well done. You get the bonus point and your own chance to choose.
Water, please.
OK, what is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Crow, could be Crow Road,
So Russell Crowe,
the
Crow Road,
Crow,
yeah.
the
Sheryl Crow
film.
could be
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
Melbourne with that.
Next, please. Donkey, little donkey.
couldn't
Any
tell you.
ideas?
What kind of crows is it? There's hooded crow,
Hooded,
donkey. Yeah. Let's go another, because
Yeah,
there's
next,
nothing
please.
coming
Horses, okay.
Oh, God.
Crow, crazy.
They're not
horses.
anagrams, yeah.
Donkey.
They're not all in
Donkey Kong.
in a field. I'd move
No,
on.
yeah, we'll just have to, next, please. Oh, Partridge Family. No, it's not Partridge.
2 seconds.
Have you got anything?
No.
Musical
They're,
acts.
they're all famous, very famous people. Sheryl Crow, Alan Partridge, Johnny Donkey, and Jimmy Horses.
Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the work of Mr. Donkey and Mr. Horses, so I can't give you that. I'm going to throw it over to the Beekeepers for a possible
Using
bonus point.
bands. Do they appear in the names of bands?
I'm afraid that's not it. Birdwatchers, are you making noises of people who now realise what it is?
It's the final word of the titles of comedy shows like Upstart Crow, Drop the Dead Donkey, Only Fools and Horses, and I'm Alan Partridge.
Knowing me, knowing you with Alan Partridge, exactly so. They are animals at the end of sitcom titles. OK, Beekeepers, last question around the Eye of Horus. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Next. some kind of bird.
Or pine marten.
A pine marten. What kind of animals are pine martens? The
Sort of
hieroglyphic.
rodent.
Any ideas, Dan?
Symbol. No, I was working on
Next.
harlequin.
Next. Oh, these
Ladybird.
are
Ladybirds.
yes. Ladybirds.
They are ladybirds, names of British ladybird species. Is that a problem for the beekeeper, the ladybird swarm?
No, ladybirds not a problem. Ladybirds do eat greenfly, or aphids, which means that the bees' access to honeydew, which oozes from the holes that the ladybirds cut in the leaves, and then take back and make honey out of. So less ladybirds, less honeydew, less honey.
But were they not even a problem in 2016? The harlequin ladybird, described by the Daily Mail as biting alien ladybirds riddled with STDs that are swarming the UK in their millions, posing a major threat to our native bugs.
That is as accurate as I would normally expect from the Daily Mail.
All British ladybirds. Well done. That means at the end of round 1, the beekeepers have 1 point, the birdwatchers have 6. Round 2 now, sequences, and birdwatchers will be going first again. What would you like?
Let's go horned viper, please.
OK, you'll be seeing the first in a series of pictures. What would you expect to see? The 4th picture. Time starts now.
OK.
Those are
They look familiar. Yeah. OK.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, next, please. That's an oak. Beekeepers. Is that an oak?
Yeah.
I don't know.
My
I think
tree.
it is.
Beekeeper.
Bee tree. Is there a-
Bee tree. Let's go next, please. That's a Canada goose.
Oh, is this the first one? Is this like... This is what Victoria said.
Is it the birds and the bees?
The birds... No, because like she mentioned about Canada goose.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the intro, is it? Is it the Birdwatchers?
Is it a picture of us?
Picture
I
of
don't
Birdwatchers.
know.
Yeah, I would
Worked it
get.
out.
That's...
A picture of the Birdwatchers.
As lovely as that would be, I'm afraid it's not the answer. So bonus chance for you, beekeepers.
Is it cheese?
I'm afraid it isn't cheese. Why do you say that?
I was going somewhere on the length of words.
You're very close, actually, but cheese would have had to be at clue 3. It is to do with the number of E's. There are 5 E's in beekeepers. That second picture is a beech tree, 4 E's, 3 E's in geese. I need something with 2 E's, for example, a leek. Unlucky, no bonus, but you may choose a question. What would you like?
2 reeds, please.
2 reeds. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Bears on 4.
Next one.
Next. Old World vultures. What's the first part? Some kind of euphemism for...
Hang on, old world is like...
Like Egyptians.
Next.
Convents.
Oh, are they things in... Is it in the jungle?
Two continents, 3 continents, 4 continents. Something on one continent.
Okay, maybe
It's not the-
polar bears.
Polar
Well,
bears.
polar bears on 1.
Why do you say that?
The number of continents one would find this particular creature on.
Well, I'll take it because you've solved the puzzle. We've got kangaroos on 1. We are looking for animals that we found on just 1 continent. At time of recording, you might find polar bears on 2 continents, but to be honest, their numbers are shrinking all the time.
And you're looking a lot harder than we are.
Yeah,
so-
that was only... I mean, I only looked this morning. By now, you may only find polar bears on 1 continent, if at all. So having solved the puzzle and told me it's an animal that would just be found on 1 continent, I will give you the points. What are the 4 continents on which you'd find bears?
Asia, North America, South America, and Europe.
Europe, exactly so. Would you favour the reintroduction of bears to the UK?
Depends what costume they have to wear.
Where would you
Steal
find...
my picnic basket.
Where would you find old world vultures?
In Asia, Africa, and Europe.
Excellent. And elephants?
Africa and Asia.
We're not counting zoos. Animal groups across continents. Well done. Birdwatchers, what would you like?
Lion, please.
Lion. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Follicular phase. So
Foliage here.
yeah, so hair growth. Okay. Next, please. That's eggs.
Here, eggs.
Okay.
Hair growth.
Might be the laying of... I think we need
Yeah,
next.
it could be the,
Yeah.
the cycle of a
Egg or
bird.
something, yeah.
Next, please. Oh, I don't know what that is. Luteal phase.
Could be growing. Could be hatching. I don't know.
Could be hatching. Should we go for hatching?
Yeah.
What else do we think of?
Oh, a fledge.
Fledging. I think we go hatching, don't we? I think that's probably...
Yeah.
Hatching.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Beekeepers, do you know?
Swarming.
Why do you say that?
We thought this might be something to do with bees.
With queen development.
Do you know, in a way, it is to do with queen development. This is not the ideal question for a team of men. Next in the sequence would be menstruation. It's the ovarian cycle. And I think hatching is not quite... It's almost the opposite in a way. Because after the luteal phase, which prevents menstruation, you would then get menstruation. I've no idea what I'm talking about. What would you like, Beekeepers, for your next question?
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Birds with 3 dots. Next. Oh. There's a song in here with them. Next, please.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Birds, bees, educated fleas. Let's fall.
Birds, bees, educated fleas. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
Lovely. We've only gone with the let's, but you've given me the whole thing. What are we looking at here?
Let's do it by Cole Porter.
It is Cole Porter. Shall we have a little rendition? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated fleas do it. Let's do it, let's fall in love.
Delightful. I wish I could give you 1,000,000 points. Birdwatchers, I can give you the chance of more points. Which question would you like?
Twisted flax, please.
The Twisted Flax.
Oh, it's a music sequence.
It is a music sequence. Good luck. Your first clue is coming in now.
Any ideas? Okay, next, please. That's a birdie song. Okay, should we go for the next one then? Next, please.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping.
What's that?
No idea what this is. Oh, it could be eagle, but it could be golf.
Oh, could this be the...
So that could be that's birds. This has got like an eagle.
Oh, so...
It might be albatross, but I think
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah, because the first one would be, hang on, would be palm, maybe.
Yeah. Albatross by Fleetwood Mac.
Is the right answer. Well done, Kelly. I saw you solving this. What did we hear?
Is that Steve Miller Band, that third one?
It is Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle.
Yeah, the second one is my favourite, the birdie song by the Tweeds. And the first one is I'm Feeling Under Par by John Jackson.
It's Par Avion by Mike and the Mechanics.
Okay. Oh.
But very well done. And, of course, the sequence is?
Golf shots.
Golf scores, exactly. And the next one would be Albatross. Very well done, well quizzed. Back to you, Beekeepers, for the last question of the round. Water question. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Are these, they're not the questions in sort of Monty Python, is it? Next. So this is the distance travelled by the African swallow. What's the word when a bird moves by season? What is the migration distance of the North African swallow?
I minded to take it because it's a special, I'm in a good mood, and I think you're close enough. The exact thing I wanted to hear was, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? But I think you've got the gist. What is this sequence?
Are these the questions asked by, is it Tim in is Monty Python the Holy Grail?
On the Bridge of Death.
Yes.
The Grail Knights go across the bridge and they're always asked, what is your name and what is your quest? And then there is the third question, which is sequentially what's your favourite colour, what's the capital of Assyria, what's your favourite colour again, and then what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow.
Before we finish, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
It's 24 miles per hour.
Thank you.
That means at the end of round 2, the birdwatchers have 8 points, the beekeepers have 8 points. And on we buzz and flap to the connecting wall. Beekeepers, you'll be going first this time. Would you like lion or water?
Lion, please.
OK, you have 2.5 minutes to solve the lion wall, starting now.
Hummingbird, ladybird, blackbird.
Hebrew slaves is chorus.
So
anvil chorus.
Sorry, do you want to say the bird? So mocking, humming. What was it?
Black jail.
Snow songbird. I think there are going to be too many birds.
Okay, fine.
So I think chorus of the Hebrew slaves, anvil chorus, the humming chorus, and the bridal chorus.
Oh, very well done. Beauty could be sleeping beauty. There's black beauty, sleeping beauty. Oh, wait a second. Weeknight has the word night in it. Is that a hidden night king?
Night king. Rook. And spawn.
Yes.
Okay, now let's just...
Right.
Okay, so
we know that the birds.
So there's some birds in here, and there's
Thunderbird, jailbird,
ladybird, songbird, blackbird.
So what's sleeping?
Sleeping Beauty.
So there's Sleeping Beauty and Black Beauty.
Yes.
But beauty's beauty.
Beauty can't be
Lady,
that.
I don't think beauty.
I'm just trying to think.
Thunderbird, ladybird, beauty, black.
So wait a second, are there
Hang on.
birds that aren't birds? So
Hang on,
Thunderbird's
hang on.
not a bird, Ladybird's not a bird.
Jailbird.
Jailbird is not a bird, and
Snowbird, songbird, blackbird. I think it's songbird, because songbird is a person.
right. So what would the other clue be then? Sleeping Beauty, Snow White,
They're all
Beauty
parts
and the
of-
Beast, and so these are the first words of Disney films.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
Lady and the Tramp.
Yes, that's the other option.
So I think let's have a look. So Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast,
Lady and the
and
Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp, which would leave us with
Black
Thunderbird,
Song.
blackbird,
things ending in
songbird.
bird.
You've solved the wall. Very well done. What about the connections? Bridal, humming, and so on.
They are all choruses from operas.
They are operatic choruses. And the next group starting weeknight.
These all end in chess pieces.
Yes, they do. Knight, king, pawn, rook at the ends. And the next group starting sleeping.
They're all the first word out of Disney animated films.
Exactly so. Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, Lady and the Tramp, Snow White. And the last group, Thunder, Black, Song, Jail.
You can append bird to the end of them.
Those are the birds, so all the connections as well, and the bonus is the maximum of 10 points. Very well done. Let's bring in the bird watchers now, give them the other wall and see how they get on. It's the water wall for you bird watchers, 2.5 minutes, of course, starting now.
OK, Winona.
Types of bee, spelling,
Bumble,
spelling,
worker,
bumble,
killer.
busy.
Busy, yeah. Honey,
Yeah,
Loads
OK.
there.
honey bee. Carpenter as well as a bee.
Yeah.
Honey Rider, Winona Rider, Sean Rider,
Yeah.
and
Oh, no, Sean.
Sean Ryder. What did you say? Honey
Honey
Rider.
Rider is
Yeah,
a Bond
yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
Yes, Samantha Rider, I don't know,
Charles Ryder. OK.
Yeah. Well
done.
So we've got a spelling bee as well, worker
Yeah.
bee,
Killer
rump.
bee, there's lots of bees.
Uh,
Oh, hang on.
Oh, we've got,
Oh,
OK.
No,
rump.
carry on.
We've got rump, bum,
oh no, you're kidding me.
Rhea,
oh, backside.
and butt.
But, oh, bottoms, yeah.
So we've got lots of bees here. So we've got killer bee,
Spelling bee,
I think
worker.
carpenter bee is a
Carpenter-
bee,
there is
isn't
carpenter
there?
bees, I think.
Carpenters, the
Okay.
birds, the
The
killers,
birds.
and the animals are all
Okay,
bands.
let's just have a look at that then. The killers,
And yeah, the animals,
animals.
from the 60s.
Okay.
It's off the wall. Very well done. What about the connections? Tell me about Winona, Charles, and so on.
These are all famous riders.
That's right, and Charles Ryder, the narrator of Brideshead Revisited.
Okay.
And the next group, rearrange, and so on.
They all have synonyms for bottom at the beginning.
They do. I'm sorry about that. And let me say in our defence, this is a sort of natural history special. It's not just birds and bees, it's the biology generally. And but I'm sorry that you felt you had to look for bums on that wall. And the next group, starting animal.
They can all have an S at the end to give a name of a band.
Yes, they can. And the last group, spelling, worker, and so on.
They can all be followed by They can all precede B.
Those are the bees, of course. So all the connections as well, and the bonus. Very well done. So a maximum of 10 points.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at the scores as we go into the final round. The Birdwatchers have 18 points. The Beekeepers have 18 points. So after a shaky start, you've evened it up, Beekeepers, and now it's a very close-run thing as we go into the missing vowels round. Fingers on buzzers, teams. I can tell you that the first group are all people who, were they to get married, could fashion a wonderful combined surname. Beekeepers?
Dawn French and Stephen Fry.
French fry. Birdwatchers?
Jack Straw and Halle Berry.
Strawberry. Beekeepers?
Danny Dyer and... No, sorry.
Sorry, you lose a point. Birdwatchers, do you know?
Danny Dyer and Chris Eyre.
Nope, it's Danny Dyer and Chris Rea. You can do that one at home.
Oh, no, of course.
Next clue. Beekeepers?
Alan... No,
I'm
sorry.
afraid not. Birdwatchers, do you know? It's a page-turner, Elaine Page and Tina Turner. Next category, a singer merged with a bird. Beekeepers?
Steve Winwoodpecker.
Correct. Birdwatchers?
B.B. Kingfisher.
Correct. Birdwatchers?
Dale Parrott.
Oh, I don't think that's a singer, I'm afraid. Beekeepers, do you know? Nope, it's Dua Lip Parrot. Next clue. See, I think the problem with Dale Parrot is even if there is a singer called Dale...
It's not merged.
You'd have to... It's not merged.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sorry about that.
So many regrets.
But what I was glad to see about that round is the eagerness for victory, which we all came in, had some guesses, lose points, gain points. And what we've arrived at after that storm of fur and feathers is that the winners, the bird and bee champions of this season, and possibly all seasons, as we may not do this again, is the Birdwatchers with 19 points. Beekeepers, you finish on 18, just 1 point behind. A very, very close one. Congratulations, everybody. What excellent quizzing. And it was lovely to see you all again. Thank you very much for playing. And all that remains is for me to say, gobble, gobble, buzz, buzz. Yes, that's a turkey and a honeybee. Thank you for asking. And indeed, to wit to woo, buzz, buzz, which is an owl and a carpenter bee thanking the teams. I find it easier to differentiate the birds, to be honest. But then bees do their most important communicating through dance. Insects are weird. Good night.